This is the Symposium podcast with Wright and Romero.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Symposium podcast, where we talk about mental health and other various things. You already know it's hosted by my man Wright and my man and me. Me, not to be confused with another personality. Even though I got like 3 winter coat Rones. Today, on episode 90, it is a very special episode. We have a wonderful guest. Can you tell the people who you are, sir?
Can't get him.
Main man.
Don't let this man fool you with the soft voice. He is full of gems, which you will hear in this episode.
He did drop some. He did.
A lot, trust me. Something he said standing out to me, so it's going to be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Promise. We have no preview for news. Y'all going to have to wait, because niggas is in a rush right now. But this is a fantastic episode. Hope y'all enjoy it. Anything you want to say to the people?
Nah, man, this is, like you said, this is a great one, man. Just tune in. Appreciate y'all for listening. And continue. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Oh, shit. I just realized, Kent, you are the first guest that we've had in terms of doing a preview. Anything you want to say to the people?
They say I'll drop some gems. No, I ain't got none.
Thank you for that, sir. You have wasted 10 seconds of your life. That being said, enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Got me out here talking about all my lifetimes. I'm gonna live a lifetime a few times.
Okay, we are back, and we are with our very special guest in the center. Will you please tell the people who you are, sir?
I'm Kent Kinnaman.
Yeah. Hello, Kent. Welcome to the Symposium podcast, my man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, nice to have you on.
Welcome.
I hear you are a fan of the show, and as always, we greatly appreciate that. But this ain't about us right now. This is about you. Now, I've heard a little bit of history. You and this man over here go way, way back. A little bit.
A little bit, man. We met in high school, sophomore year.
Okay.
Played ball together.
I was going to say, don't go DLC.
No. No, man. No, we played ball together, man.
Or BLC.
But we became real close. More so during college.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you just know somebody always got your back, and in turn you got theirs, and shit, we just had to figure it out together. So
Yeah.
it brought us really close, and man, we've been rocking tight ever since.
Okay.
Long time.
Now, from what I understand, you're not in Minnesota though. You've been moving around.
Yeah, I've been bouncing all over pretty much since I left high school.
Okay.
So I've lived up here.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Concordia St. Paul fresh out of high school, so I'm familiar with, Minneapolis, St. Paul area. Went down to Mankato. From there, when I left school, I just bounced all over the country pretty much.
Okay.
Probably 5 or 6 states. And currently I'm in Texas, so just all over the place, man.
It's hot in Texas.
Man, it's better than this. I ain't seen snow in so long, man. I woke up like, oh, I can't believe he's still going out driving this.
How long have you been in Texas?
I've been in Texas 5 years now.
Damn.
That's a minute.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, so you don't miss snow at all then.
No, not at all. I mean, we get like dustings and they close everything down. So like, even just being out in this, I'm like, well, back in Dallas, this is a snow day. Catch me on the internet, man.
All right, that's fair. Before I forget, I did not ask you. So, what do you do for work? What's your occupation, if you don't mind me asking?
So I work in finance.
Okay.
And, I work for a big pharmaceutical company, and I pretty much set up rebates for cancer drugs, to put it blatantly. So working with the sales team.
Okay. A legal street pharmacist, I'd say.
I'm just a dude to tell you how much you can get back if you purchase a certain amount of drugs. So, the 1 for 5, 2 for 9. Just legally, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair. Get that money. How long have you been in this area?
Since I moved down to Dallas. So,
Okay.
when I made that jump from Milwaukee down to Dallas, I was working in call centers before that, so I was just like, I just can't do that again. I can't be on those phones again. So I was willing to try anything and got in through a temp company and ain't looked back since.
Yeah, some funny stories about the call center.
The call center was a wild place.
That's funny that you bring that up because I am curious. Working in a call center can be hectic.
Yes.
Like extremely hectic and,
Yes.
and super stressful. Can you talk about your experience in that?
Man, I started out in the collections department.
Oh God, damn.
for an energy company, man. So we used to hear a little bit of everything. And we used to be working from 9 to 9.
Yeah.
Just me and another. I met one of my really good friends at that call center too. We was just
Who is now one of my really good friends because of you.
and I believe he was a guest, right?
Yeah, Marcus.
Marcus.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, dang.
It's way, thank you for
so
that.
that's how I met Marcus from him.
It's too small of a world.
Yeah. So man, me and Marcus, we used to be in the call center just having a good time. It was stressful, but we got a good sense of humor, so we just made fun of everything, man. It wasn't a lot of young men in the call center, so a lot of women around, so you just be there all day, and the call centers get wild, to say the least. But the call center, really good experience. It actually let me grow and experience how to talk to people.
Yeah.
And just learn that, most of the time people want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And so, from that experience, it was great. I was able to, go be in that call center for like 2 years and then branch out and do other things. And so, it was a really good start to my professional life, I would say, because it just gave me this is what the bottom is, and now you can take what you learn here and apply it elsewhere.
It's like your stepping stone to the next thing.
For sure. It was a way into the door. You let me in, I'm knocking down another door. So.
Okay. Nice, man. Nice. That's quite the leap too, to go from a call center to what you're doing now. I mean, it's work, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't easy, but you did it. So good on you.
No, man, I feel like I can learn anything. So
Okay.
just give me a chance, I'll pick it up.
That's fair. A jack of all trades, but a master of none. So
Hey. You ain't wrong.
Which makes me come to my next question. Going back to the two of you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of seeing the connection, but I'm curious to hear from you, Kent. To have this friendship for like 20 years, that's a long time. Most niggas kind of fall out after 2 or 3, if anything. What makes the bond so strong between y'all? Even Eric is looking like, what is it?
I would say it's the trust that I know he got my back. We've been in situations where, man, if he wasn't there, this goes in a totally different direction for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say, oh man, this guy's my friend because he got my back. We got similar sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
We don't gotta speak on some stuff sometimes. You be like, yeah. And so I don't know. It just, for me, it's always been like he a real one. He been down, and I can return it. I know I can return that.
Yeah.
And
No,
so,
it's definitely. I definitely agree. I think I feel the same way. It's just like we've had our ups and downs too. You know what I mean? But it's just like I think we're the most logical people in our friend group, or it's just like we kind of have similar stories. But it's just like it just makes sense. And it's like you said, it's the trust, and it's like, man, for me, it's like I can be like kind of stubborn and not ask for nothing, and then he already know what you need, or what what you got to do, or just it's like it's just been real. It's just been real, It's been real. It's been for a long time, man. We was kids, down there, bro, and then
Went from boys to men.
yeah,
literally.
for real, and just to see the growth, is. In our lives and our careers and everything, it's just super dope. And, just cause I know where we came from, you know what I mean? And, yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just, it's just kind of that bond,
What are the biggest challenges to go from boys to men? You don't really have time like you used to, not to mention that you're both in different states. So what are the challenges that you gentlemen face in terms of of continuing that connection?
For me, I would say just seeing him like less and less as we get older is who is Eric today? You know, Eric could have been a different person the last time I met him. He could have had, this experience that changed him and X, Y, Z. Like who's this guy is today? But at the core, like I know we can get back on track at any time, and so I think that's the biggest challenge. Like who is he today? How is that the man he is today affects our relationship? And then just let him know, like, I'm here.
Checking in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I guess for me, it's just like the, kind of just time. Like I'd be just super busy, but like, I can't forget to not be, like we talk about all the time, not be too busy to check on your people.
Yep.
And I definitely gotta do that more. But it's like when we do, it's like, when we talk for like a couple hours, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like we left, back where we left off, But just being more consistent with that.
And for me, I don't take that any kind of way, any kind of personal.
Oh, sure.
Because I've been using a phrase recently, like, I've been watering my own grass. You know what I'm saying? So if I don't hear from E,
it's not personal.
It's not personal. He watering his grass. I assume he's watering his grass. But, it's, I know if he's not reaching out or not answering or whatever because he don't want to.
Right.
And like I said, I don't know what you do on a day-to-day basis. I don't know what your schedule's like. You don't know what mine is like.
Right.
Life is ever-changing. Like, we ain't met the last people that's going to love us in this lifetime. So now, you get a girl, you get a dog, all these things start to change in your life. And it's like, how can I be upset with somebody that I haven't physically put eyes on? You know what I'm saying? Like, so just knowing that he got stuff going on, I got stuff going on, but when we connect, just make sure that time is well spent.
Well said. Okay. I know we're jumping all over the place, but I have so many questions.
Let's get to it.
Another big question that I have for you outside of y'all's friendship, to hear that you've traveled a lot. Apart from that being stressful, that's a lot of experience under your belt. Most people, they grow up in one spot. Can you tell me your experiences with that? Some things that you've learned, some challenges you've experienced?
I think the experiences have been first rate. I've met people from all walks of life. And, even being in Dallas, there's a lot of transplants in Dallas, so you meet people from all over.
For the people listening, can you explain what a transplant is?
A transplant is basically relocating to an area that you're not from. So you're new to the area, you transplanted, yourself in this area. But no, man, I spent a lot of time in the car, seeing this country on the highway, with people who I probably will never see again in my life. Lessons, ups, downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. And it helped shape me who I am today, because I get to have that experience. Like, I used to be kicking it with a guy from South Dakota who
I was about to say, what's the worst? Because South Dakota came to my mind, but I was like, what's the worst place?
South Dakota was for sure the worst place.
For real?
It's just nothing there.
I keep telling you people from South Dakota, get the fuck out of my state, man. What you doing here?
Man, I think I was like right outside of Sioux Falls, like whatever that school is, the SDSU, the Jackrabbits. Man, I spent many a times in they downtown drunk. This so long ago, we was drinking Incredible Hulks. So, so this is a long time ago, man. But just meeting those kind of people, like, I guess the toughest thing I probably had to deal with is probably just the racism that you face in some areas that it's just prevalent. It's like, you the only thing that look like you out here. Like, and that's tough. And I started moving around a lot, starting like at 21. I think the weekend after my 21st birthday, I left school. Like, he'd already moved to Stevens Point. What did you?
Yeah.
No, I think that was your last semester in Cato.
Oh, yes, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, because I was still there when you were gone, yep. Definitely was.
So,
yeah, because your room.
Yeah.
The room, you're room got utilized.
No, I think that was the first time just blatant in your face kind of racism, like, and it was with people I was working with. You know what I'm saying? So like, I was out there with another good friend of ours, white guy, and when I couldn't stand up for myself, he did. You know, so it was just a learning lesson. Like, yo, sometimes you need to dial it back a little bit. You can't give everybody everything. You gotta watch the situation, repeat the situation before you start to speak in some instances. You know, sometimes I learned that you can't let jokes go too far. In South Dakota, I didn't know who the hell Cowboy Troy is, and people can Google it, but apparently he's a black country singer.
Yeah.
And Cowboy Troy posts in the foreman thing, like you just walking in and like, oh, this is a joke about me. Oh, all y'all laughing at me.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't respect, like, and respect is a big for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you respect somebody, you're gonna treat them well. I would hope if you respect somebody, you treat them well. So, you know, just dealing with that at a young age. And it just, you know, coming from Milwaukee and even being in Cato for a short time before I went out there, you see racism, you know what racism is, but that was in your face, smack, and that's probably the toughest thing out of all my travels, is getting that lesson at 21 years old. Like, nah, bro, they really don't like you. They don't want you here. And they don't care what they say to you. And you don't want to look like you. So you can't beat them all.
It's tough.
So,
And especially at that young of an age, like
Yeah,
21 is
21.
young. You know what I mean? Like,
But you're still a young man coming up and trying to figure yourself out. So when you experience something like that, it doesn't matter who you are. It's gonna fuck with you.
yeah.
It's a hard lesson, but you're like,
and
why don't they
how was
accept me?
yeah. Like, so how was that for you? Like, mentally, how was that for you? 'Cause I remember we've had some conversations.
Yeah, mentally it's tough because like, I ain't doing nothing wrong with nobody. I ain't trying to hurt nobody. I don't have no ill intent. And anybody who knows me, like, I'll give you a shirt off my back. You know what I'm saying?
I've seen it happen.
Yes. Good night.
It was a good night.
No, it messes with you because it's like racism doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to put a logical spin on something that doesn't make any sense. And in that you're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it just don't make no sense. But you feel like, man, I need to get out of here, but and at that time I was such in a space like I need this money. I left school.
Yeah.
I left before I could flunk out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still owe that school money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got up out of there and just did not know what I was going to do. And so, just being lost in that situation, and now you got this on top of it, and it's like, yo, what am I doing? It feel like quicksand. It feel like just you being in quicksand, you try to fight your way out of it, and you just sinking further. So
That's an interesting point right there, to hear that, you know, at a young age, and you're a young black man, and you're not only dealing with things financially, but now you have the stress of, you know, racism. What are some coping mechanisms that came about from that?
drinking.
No sugarcoating.
Nah, man, just a lot of times, like drinking. I say drinking, but it was let's go out and party.
Yeah.
If we can have a good time, you know, all that stuff that I went through today, I can forget about it if we end the night on a good note. You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, just I don't know. As I gotten older, just realizing that. Well, let me tell you this. He called me emotional one time, and I hated him for it. And we may have been like 22, 23 years old when he called me emotional. Like, the older I've gotten, like, me being emotional helps me.
Yeah.
Like, it gives me I can read the room because I can see the emotion on your face. I felt the way you felt before. You know what I'm saying? Like, things are being said, and it may be said in jest, and you got a look in your face, and like, ooh, he ain't like that. And we talked about a situation yesterday where he sent somebody a text, and I was like,
oh yeah.
that wasn't I read that and was like, ooh, that you could do without.
Has
You know, but I know that
I was
gives you-
oblivious to the fact. So it was helpful to hear another perspective of it, because I'm like, because then as I sat and we were just still talking, I'm like, damn, I can see it. I see where that could have been taken a different way. You know what I mean?
So, or one person might say you're emotional, not coming at you, just in general. It's not so much that, but it's more of like you're empathetic.
Yeah. No, and at that age, I'm pretty like, sometimes I'm big on if you don't have the language to say what you mean, it comes out badly. Because I was trying to tell him about the situation with the text. I'm like, oh, you tiptoe. And I didn't have a better word for tiptoe. And he was like, I didn't tiptoe. Like, you didn't, but this is the only way I can describe it. Yeah. And so sometimes it's just how, it's not what he meant, you're emotional, and that's a necessarily a bad thing. I was getting emotional and I was drinking.
Sure.
And so, you know, it's like you gotta learn how to. I just related to like learning my play, like in 2K. Like if I make a shooter, what you doing trying to take somebody off the dribble? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just found that, you know, I am empathetic.
Yeah.
You know, I want everybody to have a good time around me. If you're having a hard day, I hope that comes and you're able to take that stress off your shoulders. Cause I know what that feels like. I've been in hotel rooms by myself for months on end. You just going to work and coming back, and you just like, I gotta do this. I gotta get through this. And looking back on it, I'm just like, man, I made it through 100% of all my bad days, and that's what keeps me going now. It's like I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still fighting. And things have gotten better as I've learn to make better decisions, or not put myself in positions to make bad decisions, because sometimes it's just two bad decisions.
Yeah.
Like, I'm picking the lesser of two evils, and this gonna end up bad in either way. So just learning that.
That's real. Damn. Okay. Going back to hear that you've been down south for about 5 years now. Are you traveling for work at all or no?
No.
Good for you. Just stay put, get the money. But what's to be in Minnesota, like you've been up here for some time, and then to be in Texas, what's the biggest difference in terms of culture?
The biggest difference, a little tighter. Biggest difference is that whole Minnesota nice thing.
Yeah, I knew
it's not real. Like people do it in Texas, and that they bless your heart stuff. Yeah, they do it a different way, but people in Texas don't tell you how they feel. And it's probably really confident because they probably got a gun on them. But that whole Minnesota nice thing, I don't like it. It's super passive aggressive. That's the biggest difference. And then I think this city tries to be trendy.
Yeah.
And like trying to be over the trendy, like trying to make this like Portland or something. I don't know, a whole bunch of dive bars. Yeah. I've been commenting on all weekend, like, man, this neighborhood looks crazy. Like, look at that little shack selling donuts. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. I mean, here in Minneapolis, we're supposedly supposed to be the progressive city, right? Out of the country, but
they got the most national news over police shootings over the past couple of years. Like,
touched on them. You've touched on them.
I know.
So, unfortunately, the news, I mean. Yeah. E, you got any questions for your man here?
I don't know this nigga, man.
The question ain't for you.
It's like weird asking you questions. Like, I don't know, it's just weird because I've literally been like
by my side
in these events. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. I guess I would ask you, just kind of like where you at right now, like just in your life, period. Like, are you? I mean, of course you've changed, but like, how long did it take for you like to get here? Like, like
the version of you.
Version of you, yeah.
Up until yesterday, so 35 years. Like, every day it's gonna be something new, something different experience. But to answer it more directly, the past couple of years, moving down to Texas really not only gave me new perspective, but I was looking for home.
Yeah.
like this 5-year stint down in Dallas has been the longest I've lived anywhere post high school.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. Damn.
I've been jumping around. I've been looking for home, and sometimes I lived somewhere because money took me there.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to Milwaukee a few times, but I knew it was something that I just didn't feel. I felt out of place in all these places, and I love Milwaukee. I actually like it up here in Minnesota. When I got to Texas, I was like, okay, now you can.
This is it.
This is it. This feels like home. After the first couple months, the first like 3 months was rough.
Yeah.
But just it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
Texas is its own place, so it was a culture shock. But once I got adjusted to how things and how way life is down there, I embraced it. Feels like home. Telling folks come visit.
Mm-hmm.
Doors always open. But it's just a different way of life and different way of viewing, doing things and viewing things. And nah, man. I don't know. I guess I was searching for home so long, and I feel comfortable right now. Like the job I got is because of the relationship I built with somebody at a previous job.
Yeah.
The woman I'm with, she lives the way I like to live.
Mm-hmm.
We like to go out to restaurants and we like to, watch some good TV.
Yeah.
We, have a lot of things in common. And I wasn't even able to do some of these things. I wasn't even at like peace with myself. And so getting down to Texas and be like, yo, you can do this, bro.
It's very interesting. I think you kind of answered my question already. We had a guest on here last year, Hammond.
Mm-hmm.
This gentleman, he's traveled stateside and now he's traveling the world on the big stage, I like to say. But one thing that I've always talked to him about, I'm like, when are you going to settle? When are you going to actually be at a place where you're good where you're at? He's not there. But for you, it sounds like as a well-traveled man, you are comfortable and maybe not content with, ambitions and whatnot, but you're content with where you are right now. You finally have a home for yourself.
Yep.
What was the click? What made you go like, this is it for me?
Oh man, just the people I've met down there, and I don't know. I'm able to balance how I feel and how I go about things. I can say some wild stuff in a moment, and it'll turn everything upside down. But I've learned to like, we're gonna get this a little bit of, I don't know, just learning myself. Let me to be more at peace anywhere I'm at, because now I'm gonna be in every room I walk into. And so finding that within myself made it easier to embrace all this other stuff around me, all this new stuff. Mm-hmm. And since it was new, I'm in like, yo, I'll try it. Like I said, living in South Dakota, you like, if you willing to try that, bro, what you, why not, So, I don't know, like I said, I feel like more at peace with myself, so I got down there. And then for me, I think it clicked and it was like, oh, you don't have to have, I didn't finish out school. Yeah. So you don't have to have a degree to be successful. Mm-hmm. It very much felt like in Milwaukee, even the times I came out to Minnesota to come apply for jobs, it was like, so, you have all the things that we're looking for, all the attributes, you have the work experience, but you don't have this piece of paper. And it was like, I got into Texas and a woman asked me, it was like, yo, you know how to do an X lookup? I was like, nah, but I know how to Google.
Nice.
I can learn anything. Mm-hmm. And then with her, she was like, I heard that, and you was a go. And so she, her name's a white woman named Shantae.
I forgot about her.
But she was probably the most pivotal person over the last couple of years to be like, yo, you smart, you can do it. Mm-hmm. And she was like, just lean into who you are, and you're gonna be all right. And I've been taking that ever since, like lean into who you are. And I said, you gotta find yourself to lean into it. So
yeah, that's true. That's the biggest part of the journey, right? Okay. Now I'm just sitting here thinking. There's quite some words there, sir. Now, as a well-traveled man, and not to
You finna
mention,
make me out here to be Tadano.
Listen.
I'm a classic, man.
you have experience, sir. You know, like I said earlier, not many people have that level of journeyman in them. The farthest that they've ever gone is out of the city. Like I'm in St. Cloud right now. I talk to people who have never been in the cities. We're not talking about out of the state, just out of the city.
Mhm.
So imagine what their mindset is. Talk about what you said earlier. You're around people who are like blatantly racist. So imagine how small their world is.
Mhm.
To my next question, you as a black man, I'm curious to hear from your perspective, what do you think some of the biggest challenges are for the African American community when it comes to mental health?
Oh, just acknowledging it. I think we get, like, growing up, for me at least, I'm gonna speak for myself, things weren't the best and things are constantly moving, always going on. People in and out the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't know why you feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is go back to the point of having a language to even say, I'm not feeling great today. I don't know why I'm not feeling great. You know, seasonal depression is real up here. Like, I haven't seen the sun since I landed in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so, like, I couldn't imagine weeks on the end with that no more.
Yeah.
I think for us, it's just acknowledging it, talk about it, like, and having a space to talk about it. Because a lot of times I used to just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I can still go into that shutdown mode and self-isolate. But a lot of times it was just like, people joke, but like, no, this is not joking right now.
Yeah.
I'm not joking right now. I really feel effed up.
Yeah.
And you piling on ain't helping. But so it's just like acknowledging it, accepting it, and I guess trying to just not having enough resources. The biggest thing, like for me right now, is like a lot of other communities probably do better than us because they have resources, and their resources isn't tied to, you know, the school district they're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some kids only get the help they need because they going to school.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what you do when you turn 18.
Move out. Or
I'm just saying, like, when you don't have you're not getting the back and forth
right,
school
right.
system, like what you do.
Okay.
Right. Get it how you live.
You know, my mom worked 2 jobs. Like, it was, when you ain't working, you sleep.
Yeah.
If I'm going through something, when I got time to talk to you about it. So just acknowledging it and just be like, you know, it's okay to take a break. Some of these things ain't your fault. Like, life is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes these roadblocks that are in front of us were put there on purpose.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes, so just acknowledging it, really, pretty much. So if you can acknowledge it, you can start to have a conversation.
And that wasn't, at least for me, that wasn't understood at that young of an age. Like, I didn't really get that until I was an adult, you know, like,
Sir?
even like college, like, I thought it was weird, like, when chicks would, like, they got anxiety and all that shit. I'm like, what? Like, just clueless to that, but,
That's funny because we've had those conversations on
Yeah.
here. I talked to you about that. And you're like,
yeah, and it's just like, not until I was an adult and understood, and then went through my own shit. I'm like, oh, this shit is real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm feeling, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I know something is wrong, you know? And just like you said, that acknowledgement is hella important, man, because we don't do it enough, especially in our community. Or like, we always talk about, like, as a man, what does it look like? What does it look like to be a man? You know what I mean? And it's a stereotype, but it's like different for everybody, you know? And it's just we don't do that enough in our community, I would say. And that's important, and we gotta keep pushing that, man. We gotta keep pushing it, whether you're young or older. You know what I mean? It's just important, dude.
It's funny what you say just about resources. It's one thing that comes to mind, and I learned this from work because I never really thought about it myself. Is that, you know, there's something going on with you. You might not know exactly what it is, but you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
When you allow yourself to just give yourself that space to talk about it and really feel it out, that's one of the greatest things that you can do. And what I bring up work because I learned this phrase is that when you feel something, go to your peoples or go to like a therapist, not a therapist, but like a friend and ask the question, hey, is this a safe space? When you allow yourself to do that, that's one of the greatest things you can do because you're giving yourself the space to like vent and really feel some shit out.
Have you ever been to therapy?
Oh, yes.
Good!
Good. No, to your point, like if it's a safe space, the homie Marcus, when he's probably my closest confidant. And if he got something, I got something, we started doing, yo, I got something heavy. You got space to talk. Just because, like, throwing it on you, and it's like emotional dumping on you, bro. Like, it's
Trauma
like,
dumping.
We talked about that. Yeah.
Bro, like, like, sometimes, like, I'm into it with a family member because of a trauma dumping at 7:30 in the morning. Like, yo, it's a Thursday. I got a whole shift of work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in the right space to talk about this.
Yeah.
And, like I said, having that somebody to be like, yo, man, this is kind of heavy. Even if you don't got no input, I need to get this out.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I don't need your input. I just need to say it.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's over. And so I'm glad that you said that. And I'll forget your question after you said that too.
That's okay. That's all good. It's good. You touched on it. Man, I think we're getting close to that mark, and I know you gotta go soon, but try to wrap up here. So here's a big question that I have for you. With everything that you've experienced, what you touched on today, what are some words that you have for the people out there?
Man, that's a good question. I'm not into the business of giving advice, but like the advice Shantae gave me, find who you are and lean into it. Do what you do well, and do it over and over again. And when you're not feeling great, take a second. It's okay to chill. Take that mental health day if you need it.
That's big. That's big. That's very big. Yeah.
You can't be good to anybody else unless you're good to yourself. So be good to yourself first. That'd be my biggest piece of advice. Be good to yourself first.
That's important.
That's important. Yeah. Wise words, sir. All right. Should we do last call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
What do you got?
For my last call, I really what stood out to me. I really liked watering your own grass.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. that was great. Because it's important, man. And you kind of just like, for me, I learned that the hard way. I was always spreading myself thin, doing stuff for everybody else, and never really took care of myself. And it's been just beneficial for me, just even mentally, just getting my own shit taken care of, and just kind of, just doing me and taking care of myself first. That way I can continue to help others, because if I'm in a shitty position, who am I to, keep trying? I'll keep burning myself out, and it's just important to take care of you first, like you said. So that would be my last call.
Okay. For me, it's two. They go hand in hand. One, when you talk about leaning into it, you got to take those chances. And there's a part of you that's like, I don't know about this, but what about this? It's like, fuck it, you got to go. All right, you just have to do it, because what if what's out there is better than what is here now? And what if you are a better person for it? Which goes into two, finding that home for yourself. Because it's not just a fulfillment in a physical aspect, you feel good internally. So I think those things are wonderful. Like, lean into it and find your home. Because when you do that, that's when you have peace. So that's my last call for people. Lean into it, find your home. What about you, sir? You kind of said what you got for the people, but what's reflecting on the entire conversation? What's something that you really look back on with this?
I think from this conversation, it was good to hear you, say we've been strong. It's been like, we just don't say it to each other enough. Like,
that's true.
We say I love you,
Mm-hmm.
and we've started doing that since the what you call it was just hearing that felt good. So thank you. And that's my last call.
All right, that's it then. E, can you bring us home?
Yeah, man. This was great. This was a great conversation, Ken. I appreciate you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Chilling with us. Well, there you have it. This is 90.
Episode 90, bitches.
Shit. Episode 90. All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Symposium podcast. I go by the name E. Wright, my man over there.
Winter coat Rones.
Thank you, Kent, for joining us. Tune in next week. We got shit out of line. We ain't got shit for you. But follow us, comment, like, subscribe on every platform you can think of. All right.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time. We out. Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah.